There are so many tools to weave in, not just out of the box features, but pulling in, our HRIS system in general, knowing when the employee is about to begin, triggering some event saying, hey, this is their first week, maybe a manager should check in. Oh, maybe we should send them a welcome basket, right? It's not just for the employee, but it's for management to also be able to be more effective.
This one is for you, Brandon. Is the Intranet truly the best place for new employee centers and experiences?
Well, I would rebuttal and say, well, why not? Right? Of course, intranets are, and if we don't forget, the molecules of an intranet is sites, multiple sites, at least in the modern sense. If you're thinking of classic, you have subsites or pages. It doesn't matter the organization, but I think now more than ever, the investment into onboarding employees, allowing for self teaching or introduction to the culture, this is the way to do it, right? And what a better way to introduce them, even from a pre-boarding perspective, is creating that intranet so you can help guide their experience more through the intranet phase, right? Everyone's been new to an organization, and the first week, if not the first month, is overwhelming, information overload, especially when you're in a knowledge organization. So by creating this site and curating content, perhaps by audience targeting, by ensuring that your managers have approvals to see that you've gone through the policy procedures on your own pace, especially when this is during asynchronous work or hybrid work model, depending upon your organization, it doesn't have to be so monotonous. It can actually be fun and engaging with multimedia perspectives. A note from your CEO in a video format, so you get to see someone face to face. That's pretty awesome. And I think that although there are alternatives, right? We might have Microsoft Teams that can do this. We could even have an Excel document. I'm not kidding. I actually saw an intranet based upon an Excel document before. But that's like, it's would be lost on an organization to not take advantage of this as it is right now. There are so many tools to weave in, not just out of the box features, but pulling in, our HRIS system in general, knowing when the employee is about to begin, triggering some event saying, hey, this is their first week, maybe a manager should check in. Oh, maybe we should send them a welcome basket, right? It's not just for the employee, but it's for management to also be able to be more effective. Also, let's not forget, more human, right? Who doesn't want these days? It's a hard balance to strike, and this is exactly the tool that enables that.
Once again, great answer. Richard, the floor is yours to provide a rebuttal.
Yeah, I agree. Automation, figuring out when to send gift baskets, managers giving feedback, none of those are intranet patterns, right? I'm not disagreeing that, onboarding sites might be relevant. My favorite onboarding site is a pre-boarding site. I think that's really important. But at the end of the day, where's the actual onboarding experience happen, right? It happens outside of the intranet. The intranet is just a representation of where we put our content that supports onboarding experiences. And so in that way, it's just storage, right? It's not necessarily where people go. And let me give some examples of that, right? So I mentioned the flare, right? Here's my picture and I've got my flare. If it says new employee in the bottom right-hand corner, that's a great experience for new employees because everyone's been there, where you have that student driver on the road, you see student driver, you're like, oh, let me, give that person space, or let me, say hi, or say something positive to give them confidence. If you have that in every meeting you're going to, right, for the first few months, that's a really great onboarding experience, culturally, employee experience wise as well. And automation bots that come to you and say, hey, how you doing? Here's like 2 different ways. If you need support, here's a person to reach out to. Automation where you do peer boarding, where you assign a peer mentor or peer connection, and you do that, through automation. Those peer discussions, peer connects, manager meetings, all those things are happening in Teams and other places, not in the intranet. And finally, like checklists, right? Shouldn't be me going to go do a checklist. It should just be embedded in where I'm working. And so when I complete different motions and things like that, some of those checklist items are automatically tracked, and some are there and visible in the places I work, which is Outlook and Teams, right? Not in the browser all the time. So I think, I don't disagree that sites have a role to play in this, but I do disagree that the intranet is at the forefront for employee onboarding experiences. And I, again, think that the intranet shouldn't be a place to go. Whatever is from the intranet, meaning these sites that support onboarding, that should come to me where I am in the context of my work. So yeah, that's my quick thoughts on that one.
I love it. Things are getting heated.